Hi, my name is Skylar, and this is my reflection on my OB clinical experience. I was at UC Health, and I had one shift on mom baby, one shift on labor and delivery, and then one shift on the NICU. And then my last shift, I was an admit nurse, so I was in between mom baby and labor and delivery. So one strength I demonstrated during this clinical experience was my communication and my empathy. So I actually have two examples of how this was a strength for me. First, I had a patient on labor and delivery who only spoke Dari, and so we had to use a translator, and it was a huge, cultural barrier. There was a huge cultural language barrier there, so kind of both things, but it seemed like she had a really positive experience. We were making jokes to each other, like not even through the interpreter, and she seemed to just, I don't know, have a really good experience. And I think that was because of my communication styles and my ability to communicate in other ways than language, and then also use the interpreter to build that rapport as well with her. And then my second example for this strength is I had another patient on mom baby, and she was postpartum, but she had a fetal demise. And, I knew that there was nothing I could say to make that pain better, but, I was able to build rapport with this family, and I let them talk about their experience with the pregnancy and with the death of their child. And I also let them talk about like work and whatever else they wanted to talk to me about. So I think that was a good demonstration of that strength. And then my second strength was my curiosity. I'm generally pretty good about asking questions, and I was lucky to have so many nurse preceptors who were willing to answer my questions and just be really good teachers. So I think that was a strength, and it really helped my experience in general. One weakness I ran into was a general lack of confidence. So we started this clinical with having maybe 2 OB classes, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And I think that the pre-clinical packet was really helpful, but I didn't have a lot of that general knowledge. So there was a huge learning curve there, and I think that I kind of struggled a little bit with my assessments, for example, like really looking to the nurse to be like, oh, is this right? Rather than just like taking the reins and doing things more so myself and like trusting my skill as a nurse thus far. And then the second skill I struggled with was my time management and my charting. So especially on labor and delivery, I found it kind of difficult to keep up with the fetal monitoring. Every 15 minutes we had to do it while our patient was in labor. And I just found that really hard to juggle with other patient care, as well as making sure that was charted every 15 minutes. I honestly feel like it took me 15 minutes to interpret the fetal monitor. So I did struggle with that. And so my first SMART goal is to focus on improving that time management and charting skills. So my next clinical rotation is peds, and my SMART goal is that I want to improve these skills by writing a to-do list every day after report, and intentionally planning time for my charting during any open windows during the shift. And using a planner is something that I think is very doable for me. It's a tool that I have power over creating. So I think that creating this kind of structure and really scheduling out that first 30 minutes after getting report, it'll really help me stay organized and hopefully plan out my day a little bit better. And then my second SMART goal is going to be about building confidence, because I have struggled with that throughout clinicals. So during my peds rotation, I also want to push myself to perform at least one new skill every shift, even if it means I have to like reach out to a different nurse maybe that I'm not with, or if my nurse does offer, or if I do come across an experience with my nurse, just asking her if I can do it more hands-on and having her there to support me or supervise me. And then I want to debrief afterwards. So yeah, one skill a shift. And yeah, the biggest takeaway from this rotation is just being curious, and like that's really what's going to help build my confidence, is asking questions and doing things, and that's something that I have to work on. So yeah, that is my clinical reflection.